Welcome to the Let's Talk BS podcast. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Sofia, and we're coming to you live from the
757, where we discuss real estate,
culture, and current events.
What's going on, Sofia? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's been a long 3 weeks.
Man, what?
June's been busy.
Yeah. I was sitting here thinking about how to even get the podcast started. I'm like, yo, what do I do again?
Well, yeah.
You know, I was sitting there just
You almost said the intro again?
Yeah, I almost said it. I did. My words was like, welcome to the, yeah, man. But yeah, it's been a little while since we recorded.
It has been. We've been busy, though.
Yeah, we've been super busy, man.
Summers are always busy.
Yeah.
And school is finally out in Chesapeake. Well, at least public school.
Yeah. I was going to say, my kid's been out of school around since the last time we recorded. They got out of school like a couple of days in the first beginning of the month, like June 4th or 5th, they got out of school. So it's been like 2 weeks now. Yeah,
it's been, a few days for me since the 16th or 17th?
Okay, yeah.
Today's Friday, so Tuesday?
Yeah.
It's been trying.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, I know last year we actually put a pause on the pod. Remember? So last year, December time, we were like, yo, there was just so much going on that we were like, we're just going to have a pause until the fall, just because of, your schedule and my schedule just wasn't aligning. And, the kids always bring you in different directions. You're trying to, get them situated. So we came to you to try to make sure we still are going to give you the content, over the summer, because we feel like it's needed. So
definitely.
So what's been going on? How's your last couple weeks been?
So since then, I had a couple events. You came to both of them, actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I had the golf event, which a lot of people commented on and really liked. I had a lot of compliments and a lot of people reaching out to me saying I should do it again, the golf event.
Speaking of that, now he had like a little junior PGA thing at Greenbrier. What's Friday? Today's Friday. So Wednesday, and Annabelle, the person that was doing, you guys' lesson, I was talking to her for a little bit. And so she referenced, she was like, she actually had a really good time. And so she was like, anytime that you all want to do it again, just, let her know. She said she felt like the ladies enjoyed themselves, were learning, having a good time, but also learning, the game of golf. So she's a woman, she really felt, inspired, and it was like, hey, she wants more women to get into golf. So she told me to let you know, like, you have open invitation ever to do it any time you want to.
Nice. So, okay. I'll definitely take her up on that.
For sure. Yep.
So we had a good time. We got some social media content that ended up being hilarious. Right?
It was. Definitely was. Yep.
And then I had the beachside or poolside event.
Yeah.
At what was it? Aqua Social?
Yeah,
I think it was the name of it.
I remember it was Aqua something.
Aqua something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I did that with Cohesive Titles. So shout out to them and Sarah. And me and her are actually going to get together and do a content day, which is we're looking for a location. I thought about doing it at the office, but the office is kind of
it's a little dull. Yeah.
So
not exciting.
I need to find like a location, something where we can actually record the content and have parking, because I thought about, maybe doing it at a house or something like that. But we still need the parking, and I want to invite like 10 people, maybe 10 to 15 people.
Okay. That's what's up.
To come and do it, we could do social media content for a few hours. So
that's cool.
I think that'll be cool.
I think that's fire, man. Like being able to like do that, because I know a lot of people, that's something that they struggle with. I
struggle with it. What?
Yeah. I think we all struggle with it. You know what I'm saying? Like we all may have a business or something that we're doing, but we're just trying to figure out, the whole social media aspect of it, how to be able to, put content out there and, just give people some, a different side of who they are. So I think that's pretty cool with you being able to like create something where people can come, record, get content, and have it for themselves and have it for their own, business or whatever. Yeah. So that's what's up. That's cool. That's what's up, man.
Been doing that. My daughter had an award ceremony for having a 3.5 GPA and above.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Did that.
That's real good.
She got her license.
Oh, okay.
In the last couple weeks. So that's that.
Mm-hmm.
She went on her first date.
Oh.
Yesterday.
Uh-oh. Oh, this is yesterday?
Just yesterday.
Okay.
She's been on more dates this year than me.
Oh, God. Don't say that. And she got you about just going on one? Damn. That's tough. Wow.
And it was funny. I said that to her, and Jada was like, yeah, because you ain't been on none. I said, listen, don't be putting my business out there like that, girl.
Oh.
And then...
But how did that make you feel, though? Like, I mean, I like to get your input on that a little bit.
About the date?
Your daughter going, because this is your oldest daughter you're talking about, right? Yeah. So
she's almost 17.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So how did that feel being? Because I'm sure that you probably remember like your first formal date. I'm assuming, right? Or did you have a formal
date? It was one of those. It was like I was happy to actually see her feel comfortable to come to me to ask to go.
There you go.
But she could have lied. She could have said, "Hey, I'm going out with so and so." But if you know me as a parent, then you know that wouldn't have happened. But she could have tried.
Okay. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Yeah.
I'm one of those parents who know everything.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yep.
I'm very involved.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. Very, very involved. But it was cool. I mean, I dropped her off. They went to go see a movie. They did some shopping. And that was that.
Okay.
I picked her up, came home. She told me about everything. And yeah, that was that. She said he's nice. So that was cool.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Does he drive as well? Like,
not yet.
License?
So he's technically younger than her.
Oh, okay.
By 2 months. She was born in January. He's born in March.
Okay. That's the same dynamic I got because my wife, her birthday is 2 months ahead of mine too. So
yeah.
Ain't no wrong with that, player. Ain't no wrong with that, bro. Yep.
That's funny. That is funny. Yeah. So what you been up to?
Shoot, what have I been up to, man? I'll be honest with you. When you asked me that, my mind kind of went blank because I feel like I've been ripping and running in all different directions. It's really been centered around the kids, man. They've been out of school since, like I said, beginning of June. We went and we typically go down to the ocean front and stay down there at the Marriott there on the north end. So we did that. I think that was last week, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So we had a really good time then. They've built up that area a lot, man. You just like walking around, just the different restaurants, just the atmosphere that it brings. I really feel like I'm not even in Virginia Beach.
It feels like you're on vacation, right?
Yeah, because I've grown up here, so I've seen the transformations, I've seen the evolutions of this area, and it really puts you at a point where you feel like you're on a resort somewhere away from home.
And they're getting a little bougie down there too, right? So I pull up in my car, and I was like, "Hey, can I get valet?" And the girl, she kind of wanted to give me a problem, but then the guy was like, "Nah, let her park." Right?
Oh, for real?
Then my homegirl pulled up behind me, and they was like, "Nah."
Oh, they told him nah because of their car or something?
I don't know.
That's what you were thinking they were doing?
That's what I'm thinking, though.
Damn, that's tough.
So then I had to go upstairs, get a reservation just to show the reservation so she could be able to park, which was crazy.
Dang. But I do remember, though, it's funny, like growing up, I felt like you only saw certain type of cars be valeted. So I that is a thing. Like I kind of think about that. But now
money is green. Now, it don't matter.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like now that I'm an adult, I feel like valet when I was a kid or younger, I always felt like I only saw like, these nice cars. There was only a certain type of people who valet. But I feel like now it's just like you said, it's more of a convenience thing. It's more like, hey, I'm trying to boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? So it don't matter what cars being
quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I lived in Florida and that was like a thing down there. So coming up here, if you offer valet, I will gladly valet. And I can put my car in valet mode.
Me too. I got mad yesterday. I had a lunch yesterday with some agents and it was a valet service. And the person was like not there. I don't know if they were valeting other cars or whatever, but I got kind of mad because I normally I was waiting. It was really hot, and I was running late too, so I had to end up parking like a little bit further down instead of like valeting because I waited for like a good 4 or 5 minutes. But yeah, I'm quick to valet as well.
Yeah.
So
I will valet quick and not think twice about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even at the event that I had, the hotel was having some renovations at the front. And I was looking around like, where am I park? I went next door and valeted.
Oh, for real? So you went next door, not even the place that you was intending to be at? That's funny.
And the guy, I was like, hey, can I valet here? He was like, yeah, it's okay. I said, thank you.
That's funny. I think if I would have did that, he'd have been like, nah,
player. He would have let you.
Nah, what does they say? What is that called? Pretty girl privilege? Is that what they call that?
I don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is?
No.
Okay, I know what it is.
Then. Baby, that's what you know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know exactly what it is. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but I'm going to use it when it comes to valet.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. But yeah, we stayed at the oceanfront, man. That was really cool. We went to the Atlantic, which is, like I said, our go-to spot. It was funny because internally, my wife, the last time we went there, she had 75 oysters. I think I mentioned that on one of the episodes.
Did she get sick?
Nah, she didn't get sick. But it's crazy because we watched, the kids and us, like in the evening time sometimes, we watch this YouTuber. His name is, I guess his page is called Beard Meets Food. Is that what it is now? Yeah, beer meets food. So it's a guy who has like a real big, like, old Rick Ross beard, but he goes to restaurants and he like eats their like crazy dish, like as far as like the amount. So
signature dish.
Yeah, so they'll say like, hey, this is like the king whatever pizza, and he'll give himself 30 minutes and he'll eat it, and like they'll give him a prize, or whatever. And so we watched that. The kids, for whatever reason, they loved that show. And so it was funny because when we were, the kids were like, hey, mom, like when we go to the Atlantic, you should eat 100 oysters. And I'm like, man, that's a lot. Because I know for myself, like the most I've really eaten is maybe like 20 oysters, and I'll be feeling kind of crazy after that. And so this time we went to the Atlantic. Brooke actually ate 100 oysters.
Aren't oysters aphrodisiac?
I believe so. I think so. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. It's funny that you say that, actually. But yeah, so she had 100 oysters. And
we know what goes on after those oysters.
You silly. 100 of them, too, right?
Right, 100 of them.
That's crazy.
But for 100 days.
Right. But it was pretty cool, man. I'll try to, maybe I'll send a picture to Mike, our video guy. But I took a quick picture because my son, he was sitting next to her, and my daughter, she was sitting next to me. And so my son drew a sign basically saying like, mom ate 100 oysters or whatnot. And so she held the sign. It was a little cute picture, man.
That's funny.
But yeah, I'll post it, or we'll have it a part of the pod, man. But that was cool. We stayed down the Atlantic. I think that I mentioned I went to Charlotte. Yeah, I went to Charlotte. That already happened. That was in May. So we talked about that already. Let me think. Haven't really been able to play much golf, to be honest with you. Me and my son, we've went out there a couple of times and played. He's getting into it. He's had a couple of lessons now. He's into different like competitions now. He had a competition today that he came in third place, so that was really cool. He's actually presently here with us today, so this is his first time. He's been asking several times to be a part of the podcast in some form or fashion. He's probably one of our biggest listeners. He always gives me his feedback and critiquing, what's going on and questioning what's going on. So glad to have him actually here to see what we're doing today. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, man. We, let me think, at Greenbrier.
Anything fun?
Anything fun?
I'm going skating and I'm going to Top Golf.
You going skating? You going to Top Golf?
So far,
I did.
in the last couple weeks.
I did. My buddy, in which us as a team, we're going to be going on the next week. My buddy, I went on his boat a couple weeks ago, so that was pretty cool. I haven't been on a boat in a little while, so that was pretty cool. It was a nice day. Having a nice little cigar. Man, you see the weather? Yeah.
I saw the weather. It said 90. I said, whoop. Yeah. I hope he got one of those.
Yeah. I mean, see the way he can rent, like, so he has a membership, right? So he has a boat, but then he also can like rent other boats. You know what I'm saying? It's called the Freedom something. I forget what it's called, but he can rent boats to accommodate, the situation. You know what I mean? So I'll make sure that he, obviously, I'm sure he's going to do that anyway, but I'll make sure that he does.
Yeah, because it's definitely going to be hot.
Yeah, it's going to be super hot. So we're going to have to make sure we got sunscreen, because I hate getting sunburn, man.
Oh,
That's like the worst.
The last time I was on a boat, I got sunburned.
Oh, for real?
Yes. And it was my birthday last year was the last time I went on a boat. And I was in what they call it, the sand, in the middle of the water where the sand is. Sand bar.
Okay.
I was in a sand bar. So obviously I was like, waist deep into the water, but the rest of my body was out.
Yeah.
I applied sunscreen twice and still got sunburned. All on my face,
that's the part,
on my arms.
I ain't gonna lie to you. People probably think I'm slow a little bit, because that's the part that I just now learned when it comes to sunscreen. Is like, I used to always I would put it on before I go out and do, be out in the sun, I guess you could say. But the reapplication of it, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I didn't know that you had to like continually put it on after the fact. 'Cause that makes sense that like maybe it breaks through the first layer, or maybe it's like not as potent.
And I think there's a such thing as it being like water. Like there's some for the water, and some not. I think.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, they got stuff for everything, man. Yeah, but going back to what I was saying is, I went on my buddy's boat, man. So we had a good time that day, just kind of relaxing, kicking back. What else did I do? So we're taking the team. I'm taking the team this coming up week, and we've been trying to plan this for a while. We had a great May, I would say, when it comes to the numbers we had. Everybody did very, very well. So I'm excited for that. I know this time of the year is when things kind of pick up a little bit, and so we have been seeing a lot of applications. A lot of those come through and become contracts and actually become closing. So I'm excited for the rest of the summer. Hopefully we finish pretty strong. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to think, what else did I do, man? I feel like I'm missing something. It may come to me while we talking. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's been running behind these kids, man. They're in different camps and stuff. So every day has been kind of like taking one here, taking one there, still working, still trying to, just get things completed. So that's pretty much what's been going on for the month of June for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to the skate thing next week?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty, I'm glad you brought that up.
Are you skating?
Of course. Yeah, I'm a skate. Yeah. So it was my buddy Mark, shout out to Mark. He actually reached out to me and he wanted me to be like a sponsor for, I guess he's shooting a scene because he does like movies. And so he was shooting a scene and it's going to be at the skating ring. Mm-hmm. And so, I told him I'll no problem become a sponsor for it. And initially he was actually going to have it be yesterday.
Yeah.
But it was crazy because yesterday I actually at Greenbrier Country Club where I'm a member at, they had they call it a barrel bash, which is pretty cool. So I didn't even tell you this, but they picked a couple of members from Greenbrier to go to Kentucky and actually create their own selection of Woodford Reserve.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
so
dope.
yeah, so they did that a couple months ago. I wish I would have got the invite to do that, but I didn't. But
you had been there long enough.
I think that's what it was. I ain't had seniority. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, they picked people to go do that. It was like a group of like 5 guys. They did that, and so yesterday was like the introduction of the Woodford Reserve, the Greenbrier selection. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty cool. Like me, Brooke went. My buddy Sherman, him and his wife went. A couple other people who are members there as well. Them and their spouses were there. And so it was cool, man. We got to like taste it and it's actually really good. It was cool because they had the like just your normal Woodford Reserve. Then they also had the double oaked Woodford Reserve as well. And then they had the Greenbrier selection. And so we were able to, taste them and, see which one we liked the best. And Greenbrier selection was actually the best one. Nice. So that was pretty cool. And the good thing about it is going to be super rare because they made, I think they said 2 or 3 barrels of it. And so, they got it sent here. And so I got 2 bottles of it. So I'm going to drink one and then I'm just going to keep one just to have it. Maybe it'll be worth something later on in life. So, but that was pretty cool. We did do that yesterday. Okay. And so I told Mark that initially if he was going to have the skating event yesterday, then I wasn't going to be able to be there. I was going to be there super late. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, he told me it was moved till next Thursday. So, yeah, I'll be there.
I'll be there too.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So I told him, I saw him in a gym today, actually, and I told him that he needed to look for some real skaters.
Okay.
For the movie.
Are you a real skater? Don't you? You told me at your own skates, don't you?
I do.
You a real skater then? I mean, you can't have like people who care about it that like.
I need to see myself do it, I guess, to know or identify if I'm a real skater.
Okay. Well, I'll be there. You know what I mean? I'll be there Thursday. I'll let y'all know. But next podcast, I'll let y'all know if she's a real skater or not. So she don't know. She don't know if she's a real skater.
I don't know. I can skate well. I'll say this. My daughter told me that I can skate well.
That's your daughter.
Right.
Different.
See?
It's a little different.
See?
But I feel like you can know if you're a real skater. And I feel like if you take it to the point where you're actually buying skates, then I think you're a real skater.
I just don't like wearing other people's skates.
That's true. I can understand that. I can understand that too. Yeah. Because when you think about it, it is pretty nasty. When you think about it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I think the last time
especially if I'm going as often as I do. Like there's sometimes I go every week and then I take a break.
Then you're a real skater then. If you're going at least that frequently, then to me in my eyes, you're a real skater.
Nah. So, I'm just trying to teach my kids how to skate.
Now, don't let me go out there and be a better skater than you. Let's go.
I can guarantee I can skate better than you.
Oh, for real?
Oh,
you guarantee
hands
that?
down, I can skate better than you.
All right, we'll go see.
Hands down,
we might need to bring Mike and the footage out. Like, we might need to actually have somebody come out there and take a look at something, man.
On.
I don't know.
Hey, I think I got you.
I feel like when I skate better than her, she's gonna tell a different story. So we might need to actually have some footage and let the people decide.
They recording a whole movie.
That's true. Somebody watching. Somebody watching. Somebody watching. Yeah. Somebody go see Sofia back there like this, falling down, holding on to the rail. You know what I mean? So,
nah.
We'll see.
I guarantee you fall before I do.
Nah, not unless you try to grab me and pull me down or something. Nah, I'm good.
No, I don't have to grab you.
Okay. Okay, I'm just saying. We'll see. But yeah, so yeah, Mark has that event coming up. So definitely looking forward to it. Should be cool. I haven't been skating. I think the last time I went skating was my son. He had a birthday party that he was invited to, man, probably a year or two ago. And that was his first time actually ever skating.
Yeah.
And, so I skated with him, and got
Carter
him.
actually wore regular skates for the first time.
Okay.
Just the last couple weeks ago. And he's addicted. He's like, I want to go skating again.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, man.
I didn't know that the skating ring gave out helmets. Because he came up to me and was like, do you think I need a helmet?
Oh, for real?
Yes. I was like,
that makes sense though. Nah,
it does, but I said, nah, we not gonna wear a helmet.
Yeah. You don't want to give that visual of like just have that stereotype be put on you.
You're the only one out here.
He getting out there with the helmet on. Everybody like, hold on, what's going on? Like, what's up?
Just imagine that.
No, I did. That's what I just said. What I said, I did. I quickly in my mind imagined that. I was like, oh yeah, I don't know. That's not the visual.
I was like, we gonna rock with it and see what. If you fall, then you fall. We'll figure it out afterwards.
Yeah. But that's what's up. Like I said, I'm looking forward to that. I actually got to promote it a little bit more. He wanted me to like let people know about it, so I'll probably post it on social media or something. Try to get it out there so there's some folks.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. So right before we got on the podcast, you got a call about a transaction that you didn't realize existed, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah. So
let's talk about that.
Yeah. I have a buyer. Really, really good couple, man. I like them a lot, man. I've helped them buy probably maybe 3 houses over the years, and I helped them refinance, probably 2 or 3 times within that as well. But they reached out to me last week, and they're wanting to buy a home so it's a husband and wife, and they want to buy a home for the husband's father. So he's older. They wanted him to be a little bit closer to where they live. They live in Chesapeake. They actually live like 6-7 minutes from where I live. And so they wanted to get him closer to them so they can kind of care for him on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week basis, as he continues to grow or get old. So initially we were shaping it as an investment property because typically when you buy a house, you got a disposition. You got this disposition is really one of 3 things. So either you're buying it for your primary use, meaning you're going to live in it yourself. Mm-hmm. You got to buy it as a second home, which normally is like vacation style, a place that is like near the coast or a place that's at least 90 miles away from your primary residence, right? Mm-hmm. Or you can buy a house as an investment property. So it normally has to kind of fit in one of those buckets, no matter what the circumstances are. Mm-hmm. And so typically in this scenario, I was under the impression we had to kind of shape this up as an investment property, right? Because it's not a second home. It's going to be really close to where they currently live. And so it's obviously not their primary residence either because they're not going to be living there, right? But I had a conversation with the buyer, and he was saying that he had heard about where they can buy it and kind of, I guess, you maybe have it looked as a primary residence, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, I wasn't familiar with it, so I could take a look at it for you. So I reached out to one of our contacts internally who, when it comes to like programs and products, that's kind of the go-to person. Mm-hmm. And so, literally right when we were getting ready to start recording, she had reached back out to me, and she did tell me about a program where you can actually do it as a primary residence if you're buying a property for like a parent or an elderly person that's family in that way, or even a child as well. And so that was news to me. Like I said, in this business, man, you're constantly learning, and I've never dealt with a situation or dealt with I think I dealt with a situation, but I've never dealt with a situation where the person has come to me like this and say, hey, I've heard this. And I look further into it, and it's like, yeah, actually you can do that. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really good. I mean, because initially, we were going to do it as an investment property, and most folks know investment rates are higher than primary residence rates. Mm-hmm. Also the down payment requirement is higher as well in investment property. So they do want to put money down. I think they said they want to put somewhere between 5 to 10% down. Mm-hmm. So this is going to help them do that and also have a lot better interest rate because they're going to be the one that actually going to be making the payment because he's unable to work. I think he's collecting Social Security, but this will definitely help them accommodate, their parent, and then also not be such a financial burden at the same time. So,
correct. And also in this case, there are circumstances where you could do that for your child as well.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you are a person who is looking to purchase a home for your child, and your child is going to occupy the property, then you can also utilize that same primary residence status for your child occupying the property themselves. So
gotcha.
It is definitely a product that you could look into. It falls under conventional?
Yeah, so it falls under conventional loan. You can't go FHA. Now, FHA does have a non-occupying co-borrower, which that I was familiar with, which is kind of the same thing in a sense. Kind of similar,
but they have some of the differences.
Yeah, they have differences when it comes to the structuring of it and how you qualify the person, and if the person have to actually be on the loan and all those types of things. So I just didn't know about this this program. So I'm excited to actually be able to do it for the first time, and then also give the buyers the information that they can go about it in the way that they thought. Because a lot of times, man, it's funny, I'll get presented, from a buyer or a prospect where like they say, hey, can you do this? Or I heard you can do this. And, most of the time, not most time, but, a good majority of the time, I would say you can't. Or it's just like a situation where they're not really saying it in the right way, right? And so being able to have this situation come up and actually be able to deliver on something that they got through hearsay, I think it's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And speaking of him being able to speak up and actually have that conversation with you, we need to get more buyers to feel better at having conversations about their circumstances.
Oh, okay. Sound like you speaking from a little place right there. What you got on your heart? What you got? Go ahead and tell us. What you got? Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Like I got a little something on your heart. So what you talking about?
So this week, I just spoke with a few buyers who just, they think about the mortgage process and automatically they're scared. Automatically, before even submitting an application, they're like, "Oh no, I'm nervous. I don't know what's on my credit report. I don't know these things." Well, if you don't try, then you'll never know. How do we get better, right? We get better by finding out information that can make things better. So if we can do the service of looking at your credit report, telling you exactly what's on there, giving you the resource to be able to pull your own credit report for free, and you potentially knock out anything that is on there that may stop you from buying, go that route. Let us help you.
For sure. Nah,
because you can sit in that same spot for 2-3 years wondering why you can't buy a house because you didn't ask the proper questions or because you didn't utilize the people that could help you.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that, man. It's funny, like, it's funny, man, because I agree with you 100% on that. I feel like, and a lot of times I hate to say it's people in our community, man, that's like that. At least the people that I experience most of the time, where it's like they don't want to know their situation, you know what I'm saying? Or they know their situation, but they just don't want it to be revealed to them. You know what I mean? Like that's like, to me, that's crazy. I want to know what I have in front of me so I can know to fix it, work on it or whatever. But I feel like, it's this weird dynamic where it's like, hey, if I don't know, then it may not be what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of weird. Like no, it's your situation is your situation, regardless if it's in the closet or if it's not. Like your situation is there, know. And I think the more that you know about it and the more that you're able to understand it and maybe work towards fixing it, I think is all, the best way to, to go about it versus like just kind of putting it off or just never actually,
handling your business.
Yeah.
If you know that you owe 3-4 credit cards, okay, let's see how much you owe.
Correct.
If I ask you how much you owe, usually the answer is what?
Yeah.
What do they usually say?
It's maxed out.
Or they don't know.
They don't know, yeah. And I would say this too, it's funny, like when I'm talking to someone on the phone, a prospect, a person that maybe got referred to me, or a person who just is interested in buying a home, I have kind of like almost a script in my head that I always ask them, right? And one of the questions I ask them is, are they aware of where they are with their credit? And the way they answer that question, I would say 9 times out of 10 tells me exactly
what their credit score
is. And so if the person tells me like they don't know, they don't have no clue, or they haven't checked in a while or whatever, that tells me they ain't got good credit. Yeah, man, because to me, credit is something that, it's almost like your social security number in a sense.
It is.
It's like, you may not necessarily use it or, need it all the time, but you need to be aware of it though. You know what I'm saying? And that was something I know, like I said, I always preach back to what my dad told me.
I was just about to say what your dad told you.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where it's like, you gotta understand how important credit is out here in the real world. You know what I mean? A lot of times, especially in the situations now where a lot of people are struggling, things are tough. Jobs, rates, cost of stuff is tough. So, sometimes in a situation like this, if you have been able to have good credit, you can get money lent to you in some form or fashion, or restructure your situation in some form or fashion where, you could put yourself in a better spot, but you would have had to know what your credit is, being able to maintain your credit. Like, that's why it's important, but yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
And I think I've told this story before. When I was a kid, my dad, I would do my chores, make this money, right? Make the money that I was given for whatever I did.
Yep.
And then my dad would come to me and be like, hey, let me borrow.
Yeah, I remember saying that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me borrow this amount of money and I'll pay you this amount for allowing me to borrow it.
Yep.
Which ended up being interest. And when I was a kid, I didn't quite understand it.
Yeah.
But as I grew older, I was like, oh,
you understand the concept.
That's what that meant, you know?
Yeah.
And so just learning at what? A little bit older than now, maybe like 10.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was able to live with that forever. Like that was forever a memory. Just like your situation with your dad when he told you. Yeah. What did he say? Something about a man.
Yeah, no, he was like, son. Yeah, he said, son. He was like, you know, he said, you're a black man. Right. So he was like, it's already going to be tough for you, right, in the world. And so he was like, but then if you're a black man with bad credit, then you just don't exist. You just don't exist. And I remember when he said that to me, I said, I don't exist? Like, what? Am I just like am I a ghost? Am I floating? Like, what's going on? And it's funny because stuff like that at the moment, it sounded crazy, but it stuck with me. And it made me always pay attention to my credit. Listen. And like I said, when I came out of college, I had ran up credit cards. Because I was, buying a whole bunch of Jordans and jeans and stuff, trying to like keep up with the Joneses. But, that was always in the back of my mind. So when I started making money, I said, you know what, I'm going to make myself. Yeah. And some people made a decision where they were like, well, nah, I got money now. So now they just going to neglect what the hole they dug themselves in. Now I got money. I'm just going to buy more stuff. You know what I'm saying? For me, I was like, nah, I need to clean this stuff up. Then I can go catch up and try to do that. You know what I mean? A lot of people, had, like I said, it's all about your decision making when it comes to that type of stuff, man. But that's something that stuck with me. So I appreciate, my dad always giving me those little gems, things like that, that kind of in the moment may have been like a little, shell shocking, but they definitely, I held on to those and they made me, make better decisions when I had those situations where I needed to. So. Absolutely.
Yeah. Any other things going on in mortgage that you've seen here lately?
I seen the Fed. They didn't do anything to the Federal Reserve rate.
And Trump got pissed.
Yeah, I did saw that.
Said that he was going to become the Fed.
Yeah. Like, that dude brash, man. That dude super brash, man. Yeah, he came out and just was going crazy with that, man. But yeah, so that didn't, that obviously nothing. I mean, that was expected to. I remember a lot of the things that I was reading, they were saying that they didn't think the Federal Reserve was going to do anything this time around. They kind of was still in a wait and see type of mentality. So, we'll see what happens the next time they meet. I think it'll be like in August or September. So we'll see. But yeah, that happened. I know I recently just finished with one of my buddies, man. He's become actually a really good referral partner for me, man. But then want to shout out him too, Anthony Hines. So Anthony lives up in Chester, and I know you got some family up in the Chester area as well. But Anthony, he recently had a house built. So I helped him initially when I was at my previous company. That was actually the last deal I did, was set up his construction loan. So he had bought a piece of land that he wanted to build, for his family, his dream home on. So he got a builder, went through the process of getting everything approved through the county that he was in, and they got a house built. And so the construction part, we, got set up, like I said, almost a year ago now. And then, through the last 9 to 10 months, they had the house built. And then the house was just finished in May. And so we were at a time now where it was time to actually now get into a full-time, mortgage now, right? Because the construction process was, when the builder was finishing up different aspects of the build, he would request a draw, and then he would have to pay interest on the money that, had been lent out to him, right? Yeah. And so now we had to actually get that transferred over as to a 30-year mortgage. Mm-hmm. And so we did that. It was pretty cool, man, just seeing the whole process from the beginning to end. I know a lot of times, folks don't want to wait that long when it comes to, having a house built and understanding how long that actually takes. It's funny, a lot of times I'll have conversations with people and, they'll at least come to me initially and say, hey, I want to have a house built. And you kind of talk to them about the timeline, what that looks like. A lot of folks are like, nah, I want to do something different, but he was actually somebody who was like, yo, this is my plan. And literally I was with him every step of the way. So that was really, really cool, man, to see him do that. He actually got me like, it's crazy because, typically people will give you, us as a lender, we give them a gift. Mm-hmm. Like my man got me a bottle of Remy XO and like a whole big thing of cigars, man.
He got a house built.
Yeah, no, he does very well for himself. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, he does very well for himself. And he actually operates in the mental health space. So that's why I wanted to shout out, him as well. He's young. He's only 31 years old. And he's had his company since he got out of college over like right at 10 years now. And he does very, very well, nice. So I want to shout out my man Hines, man. And, I appreciate all the good work that you're doing, man. So that's I definitely had that situation where, construction loan was pretty something we don't talk about very much, but you know, after the house is built, then what do? Then you have to actually qualify again. And so that's something that, you know, I wanted to make sure I kind of touched on a little bit, where it's like, hey, even though, you know, you qualify back then to get the construction financing, you kind of maintain your situation and still qualify at the end, you know, because what happens is that loan, you just keep paying interest and interest and interest. And it just, I mean, you're never touching the principal when it comes to that. And it actually will even compound even further depending on how long you stay in that you know, that actual construction loan. So,
correct.
Yeah.
And so there's two different types of construction loans, of course. Mm-hmm. There are people who buy new construction properties that the build or the construction of the property is paid for by the builder. Yep. So in this particular case, that wasn't it. So the buyer actually took out the loan for the purchase of the land, I'm assuming.
That's right.
And then also took out the loan for the construction of the property. So that's what we consider a construction to perm loan.
That's right.
But then you will also see builders like Ryan Homes, H.H. Hunt, Brian Royster, like that will pay for the purchase of the land. They would pay for the construction of the property, and then you as a buyer would just come in and buy everything from
and financing.
Yeah, so those are my favorite type of construction loans.
Yep. Me too.
They're less hassle.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
But of course, you know, usually that type of builder has a certain structure of designs that you can choose from. You don't really get a chance to customize the house how you would really want to. You do have input. So like they'll have like, let's say 3 models, and then you get to choose a model. And maybe you can, you know, adjust the bedroom or something. And then you can pick out finishes and things like that. But you can't, you know, build any more, any less, depending on the particular land that the house sits on.
Correct.
So, you know, I like those construction loans better.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
They're easier.
Much easier.
Less hassle, especially for a person who, a lot of buyers are not patient, right? They're not even patient when it comes to a house that's already built and lived in. So when you're talking about the dynamics of making changes, because things happen, you know, you may, because you're looking at this house, there's no house that exists. So once things start going up, what you thought you wanted may change. So a lot of people don't have the patience
that happens
for that.
Literally every single time.
Yes.
Every single time. Yep.
You got to have the patience to understand that, hey, okay, maybe the builder had to make a slight change to something because of something that was in the ground or whatever it may be, right? And so if you don't have the patience to go through that, it's better for you to buy a new construction property where it's pretty much cookie cutter, like, hey, pick option A, B, or C, and that's how we're moving forward.
I equate it to this a lot of times, and I think it's even more extensive than this. It's like a wedding. That's how I look at it a lot of times. Like I equate it to, like, you know, I know for myself, my experience, like when it comes to getting prepared for a wedding, all the different intricacies and all the different things that are a part of it, it's like, it's a lot. Like, I mean, it's a lot that you got to think about. There's a lot that you have to, like, you know, decide. You change your mind because, you know, you may think something this way, then you see something else. And so it's a process. It's definitely a process. And so I kind of equate, like, the new construction situation is like, you know, you preparing for a wedding. Like, you know, you're actually picking out the flowers and you're, you know, picking out the venue and the food and where this is going to be, the chairs, the cloths, all that stuff. It's like, you know, at least as a man, I'm just like, yo, like,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. Like, I just wanted to show up. You know what I'm saying? You know, but, you know, hey, yeah, that's how I be sometimes. So
you just want to show up like the other construction loan.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Like the other construction loan. You know, you just show up. You know, it's already there. You know what I mean? The place that you're going to already has everything. They got the food already. All that stuff is there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you just got to pick your settlement company and your lender. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know, that's all you got to do. Like at a wedding where they got everything at one place, I just got to pick, okay, hey, this color, that color, and we good, you know?
Right.
But yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So I did see a couple things in social media that I wanted to touch on.
Okay.
One of the things that I saw was Michael Jordan opened up his fourth health clinic for families in Charlotte, North Carolina without insurance, which I think that's dope.
That is dope.
Right?
That's real dope. Yeah.
Especially because of the insurance crisis that we have here in the United States.
Yeah. And also just really, I mean, you know, the rise in entrepreneurship, right? I mean, I would say the last 10 to 15 years, I mean, there's been a significant, you know, rise as far as people that are, you know, business owners now, small business owners. And so being able to have access to that type of healthcare, you know, maybe without, you know, a formal insurance, I think is really dope, man. That's cool.
It is.
Yeah.
And then Angela Yee from the Breakfast Club, she purchased a 30-unit building to support women in Detroit who have been formerly incarcerated.
That's cool too.
So I think that's dope to purchase a 30-unit property.
Yeah.
I mean, let's start there,
yeah,
right?
that part alone is fire. Yeah, but then also for the cause of the folks that are coming out trying to get themselves acclimated back into society, man. I think that's cool. Because sometimes people, man, you get institutionalized. And
it's hard to come.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to break that, man. When you come out the system like that, man. So that's cool to actually have a dedicated space. You said for women as well is what it was.
Well,
okay. For women. Yeah, so that's dedicated space for women where they can kind of get themselves together while they try to make that transition back into society. So that's cool.
All right, so now it's time for One Gotta Go.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready. All
right, so today is officially the first day of summer. Yesterday was Juneteenth.
Yep.
Right. So it's
shout out Juneteenth, baby. You know that. Yeah.
So it's officially time for summer, right? So in the summer, we have certain activities that most people like to do. I'm not going to say everybody, but most people like to do, right? And so considering the weather, considering being hot outside.
Super hot outside.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to name 4 different activities and one gotta go.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. I'm ready.
So the first activity is just simply going to the beach day.
Okay.
Get your food, get your music.
Okay.
Your chairs, and you just hang out at the beach.
Okay.
It could either you can think of it from the space of being with your family, or you could think of it from the space of being with your friends. However you want to choose.
However you want to do it. You on the beach.
You just on the beach.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You in the sand. You go to the water. You got some food. You got some drink. You know, doing what you do.
I got you.
Second option is going to a water park. So here locally we have like Ocean Breeze.
Yeah, we got Water Country in Williamsburg. Yeah.
We got Kings Dominion Water Park.
Yeah.
We got the log place, what they call it, golf. You know what I'm talking about. They got the indoor water park.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of the name of it,
but Great Wolf Lodge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great Wolf Lodge.
So I know I've never been there before.
Me neither.
Never been to Great Wolf Lodge.
It's something about the indoor water park that just screams petri dish. I don't know. So that's the personal reason why I've never been.
Yo, that's funny.
Does it not? Like when you think about that?
It do. I don't know if that's the reason I haven't been, but
now that I'm saying,
yeah, now that I'm saying, I can let that be the reason.
I remember when people were going there during COVID, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like absolutely not.
That sounds like a sickness waiting to happen.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so water park. It can be indoor, outdoor.
So beach day, water park. Okay.
And then third, what we're doing next week, some type of boat or yacht.
Okay.
To be on with your friends or with family, however you want to look at it, right?
Okay.
And then fourth is going to a theme park. So something like Busch Gardens, Disney World, anything with roller coasters. Per se.
I love roller coasters.
But we're not talking about carnival style roller coasters. We're talking about
the real deal. Yeah,
the real deal.
Okay. All right. So
out of those 4 activities, we got beach, water park, boat or yacht, and theme park. Which one has to go?
All right. So it's funny because, the luxury of living here on a coastal state. So I grew up here in Virginia, specifically Virginia Beach. Shout out to my beach boys and beach girls.
Oh, Lord.
It's a real thing. So, I really like and enjoy being close to the water. So I feel like all 4 of these things are things that I have and have enjoyed and can really give a valued opinion on. And it's funny because my answer it's changed over time. So my answer today would have been different probably even 10 years ago.
Okay.
Right. So my number 1 out of those things I would say would be being on a boat. So that's my number 1.
Okay.
I enjoy that. I enjoy being out there on the water, man. I do want to own a boat here soon. My wife, she's not fond of that, so that's why it hasn't happened yet. So we'll see what ends up happening with that later on. But I do like being out in the water, man. It's just something that it's peaceful.
You have a house to be able to have a boat because you can put it in your driveway. So
yeah, I do. There's a marina that's literally right around the corner from my house. I have a boat. I could just have it docked right there at the marina as well.
Yeah, but you don't have to. In your driveway.
I have to pay
but go ahead.
Yeah. So number 1 would be being on a boat. Number 2 would be beach day.
Okay.
Again, I'm from the beach. Growing up, I can't tell you how many beach days I've had in my life, but there's been a lot of them.
So you're a beach boy.
I'm a beach boy, as they say.
Through.
I hit the dance, the beach, but they ain't ready for that. I ain't gonna do the beach boy. I ain't gonna do that.
You probably still don't. You don't know how to do it.
I know how to do the beach boy. Believe me. I can do the beach boy in skates, matter of fact. I'll show you on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I would do that.
Just wait. Just wait.
Yeah, now, I might fall doing that, but we'll see. But yeah, number 2 is definitely being on the beach day. We had a beach day. Like I said, my son's here listening to the recording. We had a beach day about a week ago. We went down to the beach, man, early in the morning. It was really, really nice. See the sunrise. So it was really cool.
That must have been real early.
Yeah,
it was like 5 o'clock in the morning?
No, it was like 6 something in the morning. Okay. Yeah. So now it comes down to the water park or the theme park. And so for me, it's kind of easy, right? Because, you know, I don't like the sun, and like I ain't gonna say I don't like the sun, but I just don't like being in the hot weather for a long period of time, right? Without some type of like water being involved, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, the only one that didn't have water in that at all is the theme park. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember. It was during COVID. We took the kids in the summertime to Disney World, and I remember looking around, questioning life. Seeing kids scream, run around. My kids was hot and bothered and tired. I was frustrated, long lines. So they can have that. Now, the thing is, I love theme parks. Don't get me wrong, but I don't really go to theme parks in the summertime. So my answer, the one that got to go, the theme parks in the summertime, like I know, and even when everybody goes like on spring break, that's even kind of like questionable. That's getting kind of towards the hot weather. We
went on spring break and it was perfect.
Yeah, that's what I said. It just depends. I mean, it depends. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, sometimes we've had hot weather in April where it's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So I try to get the theme parks out the way during the fall and then during early spring. You know what I mean? That's when I normally kind of get my fix out of it. Once it starts hitting like April, May time frame or it's consistently hot, I'm good. So my answer is theme parks. Okay. That's one got to go.
All right.
What you got? Are we 3 for 3 in a row? What we got?
We gonna see. Okay. We gonna see.
All right.
So when it comes to me, my all-time favorite thing to do out of the 4 is definitely the yacht or the boat.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So we agree.
Put me on the front of that thing. I'm chilling.
Like Titanic.
I love the way water sounds. I can literally either sit on a boat or sit on the beach and just listen to the water.
Yeah.
It's relaxing. It does something to my soul.
Same thing with me. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, runner-up is the beach. That's my second.
Okay. So we did. Okay.
We almost there.
Yep. Okay.
And then we have the theme park and we have the water park. Yep. So I agree with you. If we are specifically keeping this as a summer activity, the one that has to go is the theme park. It is too hot outside.
Man, what? That's something be beaming off the concrete, man. Shit. Nah.
So it's funny because my friends, they want to go to this Drew Hill concert tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I heard in Norfolk. Yeah. I mean, Newport News.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm against it. I'm like, do y'all not know how hot it is outside? Like, I ain't never been to that part of Newport News where it's going to be. Okay. But I'm assuming that it's not going to be shaded, right? It's not going to be too many trees.
Yeah.
It's going to be out in the open. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we going to do?
It's going to be hot tomorrow, too.
What?
Yeah, it's going to be hot. Yeah.
So, but I told him, I said, I'll take one for the team. Because, you know, we're all getting together. And it's, you know, these are old friends from back when I worked at Navy Fed.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
New friends, and we're all getting together as one, right?
Yeah. Y'all can pain through the heat a little bit together. You know what I'm saying?
I told him, I said, I'll take one for the team.
The enjoyment of y'all being together, having a good time, will supersede being in the heat.
Kind of. Hopefully, I ain't too irritated.
Maybe.
I might have to keep one of those little spray bottles.
Oh yeah.
But I am gonna take one for the team, and we're gonna go out and we're gonna enjoy it. However, anything where there is not water involved, or indoors, or air conditioning in the summer, probably not where I want to be. Yeah. So we have to have the one of the 3.
Yeah.
Gotta have air conditioning.
Yeah.
We gotta be indoors.
Yeah.
we gotta have
water.
Water involved. So.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think too, man. Because I feel like I touched on all of them. I haven't been to a water park in a minute. Like I'm trying to think. I haven't been to Ocean Breeze in God knows how long.
So you should get a cabana.
Yeah, I remember I heard you talking about that. You had like a birthday party there one time, right? Didn't you? Yeah.
That's the most expensive birthday party I've probably ever had, because not only did I have to pay for the kids, I had to pay for the parent to get in too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So if you've been to Ocean Breeze, then you know that those tickets they like $50 a piece.
Yeah.
So if you got 10 to 15 people, plus the food, it gets pretty expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get the Ocean Breeze, man. I haven't been there. I know my kids haven't been there, and I haven't been there since, like, it was funny. I remember in my young 20s, they used to have you know, I know you from Michigan, not Miami, but you used to live in Miami, and they used to have like the Uncle Luke I think Uncle Luke's from Miami, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
And so they used
Where are we going with this?
No, used to have chill. They used to have like the Uncle Luke parties. No, seriously. He used to like I think he used to be like on tour back then or something. He used to go like different cities and states, but they had the Uncle Luke parties where he would have like music
at Ocean Breeze.
At Ocean Breeze, yeah. In my younger 20s, so like obviously this like it's basically like the club
on water. It's funny because tomorrow
they're
having an adult night at Ocean Breeze.
There you go. So it's probably just kind of the same vein, I guess you could say. But yeah, they used to. Yeah, they used to have those back then. I mean, back then the girls were wearing crazy stuff. I'm sure that's probably gonna be what it is again. I don't know. But I remember us as a young, 21, 22 year old. That was the place to be. They had, and it would always be once a year during the summertime, right around June, July time frame. They would have those, and I went with a couple of times with the fellas, and that's like. I remember what happened was something ended up happening. I think somebody got hurt or something. How it always is. Somebody got hurt real bad or something there, or almost drowned or some crazy stuff. And they they had stopped it. They stopped doing those types of stuff. Yeah. And then, I just really didn't go back to Ocean Breeze.
So when I lived in Florida, a lot of the guys, when they went out on dates, the first date that they would choose would be a water activity so they could see how fake the girl was.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like, hair, makeup, all that
stuff. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. That's
or
funny.
like working out or something, like get them out the elevator always looking,
dolled up and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I never thought about it like that. Obviously, I didn't grow up in that type of environment, but that's cool.
But you was a beach boy.
I was a beach boy. Yeah. I was a beach boy. I am. No, you said past tense.
I beach boy now.
I is a beach boy.
I is a beach boy now.
I is a beach boy. Perfect present. Nah, once you're a beach boy, you forever a beach boy, man.
Nah. You done converted.
I reside. But they say I reside in Chesapeake, but the beach boy is still alive.
Nah. way back there somewhere.
Nah. He here. He's still here. The aura is still here.
Oh, December 4th?
Yeah.
That's it?
Nah, he's here. He's here.
You were born in Rhode Island.
I was. But don't get me to start about you, because you tell me, you be like, you from Miami and all this stuff, and you done lived in Virginia long, you lived in Miami. So what am I? What
have now.
So what are we talking about then?
So should I say I'm from Virginia now?
Virginia or Michigan? One of the two. You're not from Miami. Miami was a pit stop at this point.
I'm moving again.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. So like it's you can't say that Miami was where you're from or whatever you used to call it. I don't know.
I'm here from Miami.
Okay.
Somebody told me I look like I was from Miami.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. That's what they said to me. I was like, oh, okay. Somebody told me that what they say? I can't remember what they said. I look like something. I can't remember. I gotta think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the time I remember, the show will be done.
You silly bad.
So what you got coming up?
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. What I got coming up, man? We talked about next week. I'm looking forward to that, getting on the water with the team. We've been trying to plan that for a little while now.
The skating party.
Yeah, the skating party.
Or he gonna fall.
Okay. No, I'm not gonna fall.
He is. I'm gonna make sure I have my phone out.
Oh, please do.
And I'm gonna record.
That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have your phone out trying to record me, and you're gonna fall while you're trying to record me fall. That's what's gonna happen.
If that happens, I will put it on the podcast.
Okay. Well, it's gonna be there. So, but yeah, we got those two things going next week. My sister's birthday is next Saturday,
nice.
So we're doing a dinner for her on Friday of next week. So I'm looking forward to that. Catching up with her. I hadn't caught up with them. But she came to my son's baseball game, but we hadn't actually like hung out and broke bread and did that in a little while, a couple months. So looking forward to that. But that's really it. And then July 4th is around the corner. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do for the 4th of July because it falls on a Friday or Saturday. It falls on a weekend. So yeah, I kind of want to do something. I feel like took the kids to see fireworks here and there, but I'm thinking about trying to do something maybe even like bigger than that now that the kids are older. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what it is. I may even do something in my house or something. I don't know. We'll figure that part out. So
fireworks aren't legal here, right? I don't think so.
Nah, you're talking about like the buying and selling of fireworks? Nah, North Carolina they are. That's what most people do is get them from North Carolina
and bring them over.
Yeah, bring them here. Yeah, my neighborhood they do a firework thing. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, they do stuff all the time. So,
okay.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I remember when I was a kid, we used to do fireworks, and like the next morning when you would wake up, it would be fireworks everywhere.
Smoking stuff?
No,
yeah.
At night it would be smoky, but in the morning, all the leftover.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah,
and so as a community, everybody would get up the next morning and then we would clean the streets and stuff. Yeah, because it would be that much. Because they were legal. They were legal.
Okay.
We had the big ones too, like the M80s and all that. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to light it and then run.
Yeah. I did that a lot. Yeah, I did that all the time. Yeah.
And I used to hate holding, the one that you hold and you're supposed to hold it and then it shoots out.
On there. Yeah.
But then sometimes it would backfire.
Yeah.
So I used to hold it like this so it didn't backfire on me.
Got you. I got you. Yeah.
Fireworks were dangerous, man. One of my friends lost half his arm as a kid to fireworks.
Yeah, I'm good.
I never really did. The elbow.
I never really did the fireworks where I had to hold on and stuff. I always did the stuff like you throw or light or something that was lit up and run. Yeah, I never really did that. Or I would honestly, even I did that was like a handful of times. I would like be around people who were doing it and I would just kind of partake.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You look.
Yeah, I'm looking and running and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You remember,
have you ever lit fireworks and whatever it was fell over and then you had to run from that?
Nah, I ain't do that. Nah,
That's happened to me before,
Yeah.
Because they were such in a rush to light it that they accidentally tipped it over.
I can understand. I can understand how that happened. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't.
And now we're running.
Now you're running.
Behind cars, trying to
shield
yourself.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, that's super wild, actually.
Yeah. Fun times. Yeah. I feel like millennials, we had the most fun growing up.
Yeah, I agree.
We had the best of both worlds.
I agree.
We had the non-technology world.
Yeah.
Being housed by streetlights world.
Yeah.
And then straight into technology, and now look where we are. We got robots.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I'm glad I grew up when I grew up. Man.
Yeah, I will say I am so happy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything going on besides deciding what I'm gonna do for the 4th.
Yeah.
Just trying to do that event. I'll definitely go to the skating event.
Yeah.
And do more summer activities. Probably have me a beach day today, to be honest with you.
There you go. Yeah, it's a good day for it.
It is. Yeah. It is. Well, we do appreciate you listening to the podcast. You can follow me at I am Sofia KB on both Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, and you can follow me, Bryan, BRYAN _Royster. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook.
Yep, and you can follow the podcast at Let's Talk BSPC on all platforms.
Yep. And we'll see you hopefully, I guess, in 2 weeks.
Nah, next week.
Next week. All right. See you next week. All right. Peace.